What's up, everybody? J Heat Sports Media coming at y'all again with that fire as always, spitting the hot topics and getting the sports conversation started. Y'all know what I'm talking about: football, basketball, and boxing. Getting into football, want to talk about my list of the top 25 greatest quarterbacks in NFL history. If you saw my last video, I gave a preview that I'm about to give y'all the list of the top 25. I want to get into my criteria and how I'm coming up with this list and give a few honorable mentions before we get started. So, as I said, coming soon will be the top 25 quarterbacks in the history of the NFL, the history of professional football. You got to realize when I'm talking about the top quarterbacks of all time, I'm looking at the total picture when it comes to the quarterback position, the most important position in NFL history. I'm looking at production day in and day out, year in and year out, on top of how does this person affect winning for their team? What type of leader are they? Usually you're going to get one or the other. So you have some real great leaders at quarterback and some real talented, skillful quarterbacks that put up a lot of production. And sometimes you get a combination of both. But you need consistency regardless if it's one or the other or the combination. To give an example of what I mean by that, here's a list of a few quarterbacks that aren't going to make my top 25 list, but are personal favorites. Because I personally, when I'm doing this list, I'm not just going on guys I like or guys I quote unquote watched. I'm giving respect to the entire profession of professional football and the position as it's evolved over the years. Some of my personal favorites, you got Michael Vick, who revolutionized the game of football from a running and throwing perspective, the greatest athlete arguably we've ever seen at quarterback, right up there with Lamar Jackson and another individual I'm about to talk about right now. He was a great talent, ushered the league into the era we're in now as far as some of these dual threat quarterbacks that are out there, but he is not one of the 25 greatest to ever play the game. Also, you've got Cam Newton, who showed you that you could have a running style of quarterback, even though he had some decent arm talent, was more of a runner and was able to be league MVP in the NFL at quarterback and lead his team to a Super Bowl, which was phenomenal. He did that for a year. He had some really nice games, some really nice years, but not a consistent output throughout his whole career. Outstanding talent, not top 25. Steve Air McNair, he was the first black quarterback to be named league MVP of the NFL, led his team to a Super Bowl, phenomenal quarterback, was all pro obviously the year he won the league MVP, but outside of that, not as a consistent of a career throughout. May he rest in peace. He was one of the all-time greats, but not one of my 25. And then you got a guy like Eli Manning, who wasn't an all-pro. He made a few Pro Bowls for sure. He had some up and down years, some bad years, but he was a leader. And when he was on, he was on. Two-time Super Bowl MVP, which is rare in the NFL. Not many quarterbacks can say that. Stepped up in the clutch against the greatest of greats and was a great leader for his team. And then a shout out lastly to a hometown favorite, Joe Theismann, for the Washington Redskins at the time when their name was the Redskins. He was a league MVP and a Super Bowl champ, which is also rare for a quarterback to get both those awards in their career. The two most prestigious awards you can get at that position, he did both. But again, not a perennial All-Pro or a perennial Pro Bowler, and not as consistent throughout his career, but had some great moments. You've got other quarterbacks that were MVPs, other quarterbacks that were Super Bowl champions that won't make this list. All due respect to them, I'm going to give you my honest opinion in my next videos of my 25 best. Stay tuned. All right, that's all the time I got. Y'all know what it is and you know what you're looking for. J Heat Sports Media. Remember to like, subscribe, or hit the bell. Get at me in the comments. I'm on YouTube, Instagram, at The Vault JMU414 on Twitter, and of course, what's up TikTok? I'll let y'all next time.